Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, no matter where in the world you are joining us from. You've reached the bus station. This is Bustin' Out, and we are the Brunch Busters. I'm Bobby Munson, and beside me, the man, Chris Parrish. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. I never knew Pepsi tasted so good, by the way. Weird.
It might be bittersweet for some after last night.
Yeah. I officially no longer have a Coca-Cola problem. So that's good.
Fair enough. But yeah, it's got a lot to talk about today on Bustin' Out. It's going to be quite the episode as we give people a little bit of time to get in here. But huge coming off of WWE Survivor Series War Games last night, WWE kind of they delivered in more ways than one, you could say.
Yeah, just like our good old friends at Rogue Energy do as well. But yeah, no, what a show last night. Probably a show not a lot of people expected, but holy crap, as Bastar's saying it, dude, truth is back. What the hell?
Yes, our truth came back. It is a glorious day for the WWE in great big fashion. And good morning to you, Vassar. And good morning also to CBRS Entertainment, Chris Best, co-host of Turnbuckle Talk over there, and a part of the Monday Night Raw watch along. How you doing this morning, Chris? Yeah, our truth. What a comeback.
Yeah, and oh man, tomorrow's watch along is gonna be fun too. We have some topics to talk about today. In fact,
yeah, one or two.
Really,
one
only
or two.
a couple. Yeah, like this is one of those episodes where you don't need that hashtag plethora amount of topics.
Nope.
We can just talk about the obvious, that big elephant in the room, and that is War Games. And Randy Orton's back. Right? Like that was the big surprise.
Yeah. Although we were told kind of in advance, but I think that was done with good reason.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you end up getting a chance to watch War Games?
I have not seen it all the way through. I've seen bits and pieces. Of course, last night I was out, so didn't have a chance. Just one moment, though. We are going to be hitting an ad break here very, very shortly. So again, if anybody wants to avoid those pesky ads, you can always go ahead and give us a subscribe here on Twitch. Mm-hmm. Bad Bobby, like loosely. Good morning, BDJ. Keep it clean, brother. Keep it clean. But yes, good morning. And Bad Bobby will not be making an appearance on Busted Out.
But it's okay. It's okay. We'll get to Bad Bobby at some point down the road.
All right. Chris, you subscribe. You've got no ads. Always appreciate it, man. Thank you for subscribing to the channel.
No ads. That's what I got. No ads at all.
Bobby Stats up in the house. Bobby, good morning, afternoon-ish. How are you doing?
Yeah, just general. What was your takeaways? Obviously, what was your from what you did get to see, what you've heard about it? You know, like as we recap Survivor Series War Games. Obviously, if you want a more in-depth one, go back and check out paper reviews that was done last night, following the show. But yeah, it's in the news. Survivor Series War Games. Yeah, the thoughts of Bobby Munson.
The thoughts of Bobby Munson. So my thoughts are Ed was wrong. Especially on the Intercontinental title match. Because Gunther continues his dominance as the Intercontinental champion. That was absolutely fantastic. Can't go wrong there. And we got another chatter in here. It's Leeds up in the house. Looks like I'll be watching TNA from now on. What do you mean you can be watching just TNA? What's up with that?
You not like Randy Orton?
Our truth's return disappoints you that much? Like,
yeah, he was it's crazy how polarizing just last night's show really was. Our chat's kind of a small sample size of what social media was last night, but
it's some very, very upset people.
But like, yeah.
All right, let's talk about the elephant in the room. CM Punk did return last night and has divided the entire internet wrestling community. Really has, because again, having been released or fired from AEW, he did say a lot of things at that time. He would never return to WWE. He made a lot of jives at the WWE, and then all of a sudden here comes Pepsi Phil to wave hello to the WWE crowd from that show and give a big middle finger to everybody who believed every word he ever said. It's wrestling. It's wrestling. People will go wherever they want, and they will go back on their word a million times because that is wrestling. It is what it is. The money talked, whatever it was that talked, the opportunity to wave a middle finger in the air to those who, he feels wronged him might have been tempting enough. And it happened last night. And again, you have a lot of people upset about it. I mean, I'm impartial. I never was a massive Punk fan, but I think the moment is comical. The moment happened. WWE pulled the trigger on something that people were screaming for. Clearly, everybody in Chicago still wanted CM Punk in a professional wrestling ring because the crowd was deafening with CM Punk chants throughout the entire night.
I mean, and it was done in typical Triple H fashion, as he's known to do in NXT. Just when you think the show's about to end, you see that graphic. And then all of a sudden, he does something else. That he has to hand his passport in every time he's booked. Yeah, but like it's, and you have to admit it's something that you talk about. He is somebody that somehow always follows a headline. Yeah. Do I really want to watch him wrestle all the time? No, not really. I'm kind of past CM Punk as the wrestler, but as a character, as a polarizing character on screen, that he still is, people. He moves merchandise, he moves tickets, he creates that buzz. He does what a lot of new age wrestlers just don't do. And he can still do it very well. He did it very well in AEW. It's going to be interesting to see what he does in WWE now. And I'm pretty sure the first person that he's going to probably stir a buzz up with, probably Seth Rollins. Who,
Bobby's asking the question right now.
Yeah.
And I agree. I mean, I think the clear target is Seth Rollins. And I mean, that is WrestleMania written all over it right there.
Yeah, and it's pretty crazy. And it's funny because Asher was saying, "Oh yeah, two guy Irish." She said this yesterday in one of the streams. She's like, "They both haven't headlined WrestleMania," and it would be like, how ironic would it be if it was against them? But technically, Seth has, I guess, but never an advertised main event for Seth, even though he did cash in and technically become part of the main event there. But yeah, I'm actually more curious about like Randy Orton's first opponent over CM Punk's. But I mean, it's crazy now. Like it's crazy because does he even go on Raw? Does he go to SmackDown? Like what's kind of the narrative there? I don't think I know. Like I don't know if anybody really knows. How can anybody really say they know what's going on when we have last night as a pure example that nobody really knows?
No. And again, that's going to draw people into watching. They have to know. There has to be some sort of flight clause in his contract. That's all I'm saying. And Leeds agreeing that Seth to be to be an opponent. I agree. Maybe CM Punk versus Dominic Mysterio, but then Leeds also saying that's unfair on Dominic. I don't know if Punk's there. Like, I don't know what their motive is with him. Obviously, to work with some guys that they know they're going to get quality out of. And again, they can get that with Seth and Punk. I think Seth and Punk at WrestleMania in a highlight spot will be huge. Randy and Cody, yeah, that's very possible too. Seth and Punk, yeah. I mean, WrestleMania, let's not kid ourselves. WrestleMania is shaping up to have some very quality matchups on the card now as things began to unfold last night. Finally, some storytelling that makes people have to tune in makes them excited for those big cards coming up and everything like that. There's a lot to build from here, and if they continue those builds, that was what used to be exciting about the big four, was those were used to connect their way through to WrestleMania. And if they're going to start that build towards Rumble and Mania now, good on the company for doing that, pulling the trigger.
Well, I mean, and that's something that we got to look into too, because the next PLE for WWE for the main roster is the Royal Rumble, which is the kickstart to the road to WrestleMania. So why not get a little bit of head of schedule? The Royal Rumble is January 27th, I believe, 24th or 27th. I think it's the 27th is what I remember. So we're 2 months away. We have 2 months of build that starts that road. And Bobby coming in saying, since Zoe Stark wrestled against Rhea, who wrestles against Rhea Ripley next? Maybe Shayna.
Shayna would be a good option. I tend to believe that they are leaning towards Nia Jax, like Leeds is mentioning here. But definitely think there's some options there. I'm curious to see what direction they're heading, because clearly, even if Rhea, there's plans for her to drop the title to someone, that's not happening till Mania at all. I don't see it happening until WrestleMania. And I see that being whoever wins the Royal Rumble choosing Rhea as the opponent.
Yeah, unless we have something gigantic happening with Io Sky and Bayley. Because to me, if Bayley is to win the Women's Rumble and she is kicked out of Damage Control, like I see kind of like a Batista Triple H thing there, where Batista doesn't care too much about the other title. He wants revenge and he wants the title that's right in front of their eyes. That might be the only time I think they don't, and then you can have something more natural with Rhea Ripley, especially with the depth of the women's division on Raw opposed to SmackDown. You could probably do an Elimination Chamber match on that side. But because you can look at like some of the names there, you could have Nia Jax, Raquel, Shayna, Zoe, maybe even like Jade Cargill or something, but just absolute monsters through the board in Elimination Chambers. That'd be pretty big.
No.
And
Mercedes coming back to the Rumble. Leeds is calling her right now.
Now,
do you think she's coming back?
Do you think Mercedes is coming back, or do you think Sasha Banks is coming back?
Well, I mean,
come on.
Clearly, we know what's going to happen. She could be Sasha Monet Banks.
Monet in the Banks?
Monet in the Bank. Yeah. Maybe. Who knows? I mean, I haven't been following the story enough to know if that's a strong possibility or not. A lot of great content creators out there that have a little bit more of the inside source on that, kind of like our friend Tom Collihu. So you want to know anything of that kind of possibility being possible, check out Spoiler Warning with Tom Collihu. Bobby saying AJ Lee will come back too since CM Punk is back in WWE. Possibly.
I know. I wanted to touch on
AEW didn't get her.
What did AJ Lee like? What is the one thing she's known for post her WWE career? And that's writing her biography, right? Her book, right?
Yeah.
Well, who did CM Punk, her husband, appear to piss off very hard with his appearance last night? And that would have been Seth freaking Rollins.
Yeah.
Who has a significant other who's writing a memoir right now?
You could essentially have
I think it could very well. I'm just saying. I can see a connection. CM Punk, AJ Lee versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. Who says no?
Yeah. No, I think you could be onto something there. Barry saying, will Trinity go back if Sasha goes back? Maybe eventually. I think Trinity seems to be doing well in finding her, finding herself outside of the WWE right now. And I mean, I can't speak for her, her want or her, interest in going back and stuff like that. But I mean, from the perspective we're seeing right now, it almost seems better that she build that stronghold outside of the company before making those decisions, because I think there's just so much more she can do outside of there for the time being. I mean, she was there for so long that she's only now getting to really kind of explore a world outside of WWE.
Yeah, and I think we might even be more prone to maybe see Mickie James come back over Trinity at this juncture. I mean, all sides point that this could happen. Like, if you needed a pretty substantial female name for the Hall of Fame, I mean, Mickie James is right there.
That's what I was thinking
Bobby
too.
Bobby coming in saying he enjoyed the pay-per-view PLE last night. Yeah, I did too. It was not only a really good pay-per-view, but it's making you talk about it. Pretty monumental. And I wanted to pose this question to you in the chat, and I want to cement this. This is not one company versus another company. I truly do think that it's worth talking about. But what was bigger in your eyes? And I know there's a recent bias here. CM Punk returning to pro wrestling when he returned to AEW, or CM Punk returning and signing with Triple H's WWE?
I think the reason that you'll lean towards the WWE signing last night, just because of the bastardized history between him and Triple H that's been very well documented by CM Punk himself and everything. The fact that, now he can sit there taking a picture with Triple H and saying that hell froze over. I think you got to go with that. I mean, when it came to AEW, it was an opportunity to go to a company that wanted to go to war with the company that wronged him in the first place. And so the opportunity was there to go do something different. And so it was big. It was massive. He finally came back to wrestling. The WWE one's more of like a massive middle finger to the world kind of thing. Like, I will do whatever I want. Go F yourself. It's generally the Punk message from last night. And people are paying attention.
Yeah. And I kind of want to give a little bit more of we saw a lot of images from yesterday, a lot of videos, and we saw an image where it was Seth Rollins essentially giving Punk the finger, and then you look on the other side and you see Punk doing the wave. If you look at a little bit more videos, you see that Randy Orton was sitting in a chair in the cage waving at CM Punk, and Punk was just waving back to Randy. That wave had nothing to do with Seth Rollins. The middle finger, though, that had everything to do with CM Punk.
Yeah.
And then, we're not even going to talk about, or we haven't even talked about, we will, but Drew McIntyre angrily walked out prior to CM Punk coming back. Very visually mad, it looked like. He reportedly went in, slammed his locker, grabbed a hoodie, and left. However, there was something that I read. I don't know how close this is, how real or how truthful this is, but somebody did report that they saw the cameraman give him Drew McIntyre cues on where to go when he walked out. So there could be a lot of shoot works right now in WWE, or there could be a lot of blowback in terms of reacting to, what transpired last night. But if this doesn't make you want to see what happens next, which is essentially what good wrestling should be doing, I don't know what else you could do, because I thought the finish to that show last night was remarkable.
Yeah. It left a lot of questions in a positive way. People want answered, so they got to tune in. It did everything it needed to do. And again, the best part is that Survivor Series, while still classified as a top 4, has not really felt like a top 4 PLE or pay-per-view event in a long time. it just didn't have that traditional feel to it. It's really taken away. It started doing the crossover Raw versus SmackDown crap that really, like, who cares? You're still fighting for the same company. It's just a different night of the week, so it's fucking stupid. But now this felt better and different and felt like they enjoyed themselves for once. They had ideas. They had thoughts. They wanted to try things, and that's what Survivor Series War Games last night felt like. It was trying things, experimenting, starting feuds, starting stories, things that are going to build and boil over on your payoff, on your finale. WrestleMania essentially is a season finale to everything, with Raw after WrestleMania essentially being the season premiere to the next phase. And so when you start the build now in November on your way towards your big payoff, you're going to have people wanting to pay attention and tune in, because you're fleshing out these really fantastic, phenomenal ideas that are on the cards. And this is only the start of it. And we're going to see more unfold at the Royal Rumble come January as well, too. More that'll unfold prior to going in. And they will make people excited for what will be, you know, this is going to be Triple H's WrestleMania in charge without there being any possible Vince influence on it.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously last year was his first one, but it was there was a lot of hinting with Vince McMahon involvement. Whereas we all know this year, if any involvement, it's TKO. And even Triple H pointed out in the press conference that he thinks there's going to be high-end executives in TKO saying, "What the hell?" Because not a lot of people apparently knew about what transpired. As we get some comments, Chris Best, I pointed out last night when Parrish OMD and I were just chatting post-show, but it feels like Survivor Series is the show where everybody always gets a major surprise. It's starting to feel that way. Starting to feel like that's what Survivor Series is known for now. But then again, so is the Royal Rumble, as Bobby Badino coming in. I like to see Lance in Hawaii or Matt Cardona wrestle at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I mean, surprises are good. You know, Triple H is going to want to pull out a few more surprise cards. Problem is he also doesn't want to go overstuff his roster with so many people that you've got no room or no spots for them. I mean, what good is having all these returns if you have no room for the other people you're also building, right? Like, I mean, yeah, it's great. You got Punk. You gave the middle finger to the competition and to the wrestling world that are going to be barking over this for a while now. But what good is it if you like? And I'm not saying don't bring in. I mean, Lance isn't a big surprise. Lance would be a great addition, but Matt Cardona, it's like, I think we know that one's possibly on the cards, but there has to be a point in time when they just say, okay, we're good. We've got enough people building in NXT. We've got enough this. We've got enough, because there's going to be call-ups coming up soon. And you're just adding to these rosters where, you know, the worst thing that they could do is build up so many people to the point where they then divide the roster again and have another show and start adding more shows and more belts and everything like that. There's got to be a point in time when they say, you know what, unless it's somebody really, really worth it that we can foresee adding to the depth of this show and adding boost to ratings, that we just don't need anymore. Doors closed for a bit.
I think what also works in this scenario is, and I know in our local kind of group chat, Ed pointed this list out, and it's something that I've seen on social media, but the average age or the current age of some of the wrestlers and workers in WWE now compared to what it was like in 2000, so just 23 years ago, insanely higher average of age. Yeah, you got your young guys. WWE does have their speak of the devil, which is not CM Punk, by the way. Just pop in and say quick hi. I'm not feeling well today. Well, Ed, we hope you get well.
Get better, Ed.
Yeah. Hopefully you feel better than that than the Miz does.
Yeah.
Oh, Wednesday.
The Miz got punked.
Yeah. Oh man, one of the greatest signs just going to point this out on SmackDown on Friday. Howell was not confiscated by on me, but the pun is great. Somebody had a sign that said, "I miss my pants." And I thought that was hilarious. If that
Awesome.
sign somehow came out of nowhere and was there at Survivor Series War Games last night, I want to know, because that would have been the sign of signs if Miz somehow won the Intercontinental title. But Bobby, I told you I wasn't going to do this, so I'm going to ask you, because I have 5 Survivor Series returns or debuts.
Okay.
Would you want to blind rank them?
Yeah, hand it over. Let's do it.
Okay. So number 1, we're gonna go obvious. Your first one, CM Punk.
3.
Okay. I then have The Undertaker.
That one's going number 1.
Rocky Maivia.
Oh yeah, he did debut at Survivor Series, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
His debut was rather uneventful, so.
But it was the beginning to the most electrifying man in all of the entertainment.
Yeah, but it still didn't stand out like The Undertaker's debut. I'll go 4.
Okay. The Icon, Sting.
It was big because they never said it would happen, and it started to get to the point where we never thought it. So I'll give that one number 2.
All right, so you're number 5, The Shield.
Yeah, I mean, if I wasn't blind ranking them, I probably would have put them one ahead of Maivia. That's
sure. What I love about the blind ranks. Oh, yeah. That was fun. Yeah, no, all right. We were talking Survivor Series,
but based on what I've seen from Jon Moxley over the last few years, that they kind of deserve to be lower down the rank as a association too.
Yeah, but you also came out with you have 2/3 of that, Seth Rollins, who was pretty influential last night, and then you have Roman Reigns, who is pretty influential right now to the WWE.
Oh, I agree. I'm just saying, but by association of Jon Moxley, they get that negative attention just due to that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Dean Ambrose was okay though.
Yeah, and then he became Jon Moxley. But Dean Ambrose actually had legitimate bosses telling him, "No, that's stupid. We're not doing that." Notice how all those returns and debuts became or are main events as well. Yes, yeah, 100%. Huge.
What do you mean, that Rocky Maivia guy? What did he ever do?
That's right. Yeah, he's Rocky Maivia.
And then Bobby coming in and saying Adam Copeland versus Christian Cage is happening at AEW Dynamite on December 6th, which is in Montreal, Canada, by the way.
Why? I get okay. It's fine.
I can actually answer this if you want. So Christian, obviously, he's now like known as the Patriarch or whatever. He renamed Luchasaurus to Killswitch. He wanted Killswitch to concerto Nick Wayne's mom, which then Adam Copeland came out to save her. Ended up concerting Nick Wayne. He's then in a backstage saying, he's like, Christian, I came back because I wanted to be with my best friend. And it's like, and what you've decided to do is you started to start doing all these things. You told me how you felt about me and you joining back. But then you brought my kids into this. Then you brought my wife into this. And that you just crossed the line. So now what I want to do is I want to take out everybody attached to you, because eventually I want to get my hands on you and I want to take away what you see is more precious to you, your championship. His promo was actually really good. And it convinced me to, the match.
Understandable. I don't have a problem with the match. I'm asking why. Why are you putting this on free TV, you dumb MFers? I'm sorry, Morning Astrid. Hello. Before I start ranting about how stupid it is to keep giving away pay-per-view matches on free fucking television. This is what you don't get when it comes to professional wrestling, that you have two legitimate stars in your company. And after just getting one of them, you're like, oh shit, let's blow this off with a match on fucking free television. This is a pay-per-view level match. Pull your head out of your lazy booking ass and start booking proper TV to build to your pay-per-views, which get buys. Oh, this frustrates me about professional wrestling. Enough said.
How's your afternoon going, Astrid? Thanks for joining. Oh, I feel so bad for you. Coming in, just saying hi, and then you're just like, let me tell you something, brother.
Fired up today.
Oh, just the timing was so funny.
Good thing there was no death matches last night, because I'm in a tearing things apart mood.
No, but there was 2 war games, and I do want to get to the women's war games match because I thought they absolutely killed it last night. I thought that match was really good. And I really was it was funny because I said this during the watch along. I've been critical of Bianca Belair and her selling, but somehow when it comes to war games, her selling is just through the roof. Which is ironic because War Games doesn't have one, but you know what I mean. But yeah, I thought she was fantastic. I thought Bayley's performance was fantastic. And then, just watching the teamwork of, Asuka, Io, and Kairi Sane, they're so fluid and so smooth, and they just seem so comfortable working in that ring together that, I don't know, I thought they did really good, and I don't know, I just wanted to think or see what your thoughts was of the women's War Games match.
It was the better of the 2 War Games matches when you're assessing the actual match itself. The problem with having 2 of the same match on the same card tends to be that the first one delivers to the point where the other one doesn't have the opportunity to really do anything different. And I think to the benefit of the guys' War Games match, they had the moments with Punk at the end.
Yeah.
They had the moment with Drew walking off. They had
The
moments.
RKO, that was insane.
Yes. So they had those moments. The women had the better quality overall match with the arcing story that involves more people within the contained matchup itself. So kudos to them for really kicking things off and doing the better quality job in telling the story inside the ring or inside the cage last night.
Yeah, and what I thought was really funny is we were both very confused to why, this was a War Games match. It just seemed really forced, rushed, whatnot. And then 1 week later, literally 1 week later, we're talking about the match, and you're like, oh, well, no, it actually all was very fluid. There's a lot of stories within the match, whether it was, is Bayley going to truly lead the team, or is she going to get kicked out? Can Becky and Charlotte coexist? Shotzi, what role is she going to really play in this? Does Bianca somehow snap and have that heel turn that we all thought was going to happen before? Really what was going to happen in that match? And there was a lot of questions answered, but also a lot of interesting tidbits here. Because and I want to say it's very ironic that in one match we saw 2 best friends who turn enemies hash it out, get back on the same page. And then we saw on the other one, almost the other way, followed by tension to end the show between 2 people. So really curious, but I don't know. I really like the story within the match a lot in the women's War Games match, and I want to give a shout out to Charlotte, who had a picture perfect moonsault off the cage that was incredible. Io Sky's crazy. Just and did you happen to see what happened to Shotzi and how she got busted open?
No, I haven't. I didn't know. I don't know how. Sorry.
Yeah, we were trying to like find it last night. We saw it at the end. Like, yeah, she clearly was wiped down, and she was bleeding somewhere on. I think it was the left side of her face, but we just don't know how it happened. So I'm thinking it's probably from the trash can splash, but who knows? But yeah, who do you think was the MVP of the War Games matches?
MVP. Oh God, I really don't. I don't know. I mean, no, I really don't have a good answer for you because like everybody in there did solid jobs. Everybody had good moments. There was good storytelling. I can't really narrow down an MVP from last night. Sometimes you can, and I don't know. What were you thinking?
I thought Damian Priest was very good last night. I thought he solidified himself as someone who belongs in the main event with that with Warren. I thought Dominic really held his own, but I thought JD McDonough really bumped his ass off and just really stood out in that men's match. I thought Bailey was absolutely phenomenal, and I thought that was a great way to have Kairi Singh come in, kick some ass. She didn't win the match, but it didn't matter. She now fits, and I really liked Io. I thought Io was phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's why I say it's hard because like you're talking an MVP and you listed a lot of people, and some of them it's like you expect it because they'll give you a good performance every single time kind of thing. So it was wonderfully put together. Everybody stood out. There clearly are stars built in the WWE. There are clear main title contenders built in the WWE, and there's a clear path to building future stars in the WWE at the moment, which is what has kind of turned a few heads the other direction. While people wanted to tune away from the WWE and look for that alternative, suddenly the alternative isn't looking quite as squeaky clean as they thought. And suddenly the head's turning backwards and going, oh, wait a second. Something's going on back at the company that I used to support once upon a time. I mean, for me, it doesn't matter either way. Like I'm on board to just watch good quality wrestling. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't agree with that more. Just want to like verbally kind of, I guess, mention Bobby Munson, who asks if WWE has said anything about CM Punk and what brand he's going to be on. No, they have not. So I think one of those will have to tune into Monday on Raw, have to tune in Friday on SmackDown. As we have expanded history coming in. I don't know if it's been touched on already, but I do wonder if Punk's return will slow down Cody's hype for WrestleMania and his storyline for finishing the story. Well, expanded history, thank you for joining in, and thank you for the question. Let us know a little bit more about yourself and how you found our local establishment. We'd like to hear a little bit more on there. But, yeah, Bobby, what do you think about this?
I don't think so because I don't like, again, I know a lot of people want to believe that CM Punk is very, very selfish. I don't think that's necessarily the case. I don't think that Punk, if he believes that Cody finishing the story at WrestleMania and having his moment, if he believes that is what's best for the company and he strongly backs that, I don't think he would ever step in the way of that. I don't think he's the type that would do that, despite what a lot of people believe. I think he would gracefully step aside, have a great quality match with somebody at WrestleMania, and then not have to involve killing Cody's momentum. I think there's enough time to build it from now till WrestleMania so that Punk feels well in there against somebody like a Seth Rollins while you get, say, a Cody Roman Reigns payoff on the other night. You've got two quality matchups right there. Nobody has to lose any momentum. The fans are getting double what they want in terms of great main events. And we haven't even touched on the fact that we're going to have quality women's main event title matches there as well too. It's shaping up to be a good, solid go into 2024 for WWE.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think too, like obviously with Seth and CM Punk being a rumored match at WrestleMania already, like that's what everything's looking like. That still opens the door for Roman Reigns and Cody. So if you were to just like say, okay, we're going to pencil it in right now, let's put it Seth and Punk, and we do Cody and Roman. Maybe this is where you do continue Gunther's reign of IC title, and maybe you do something where it's him and Kaiser, Vinci. Maybe it's a triple threat with Imperium over the Intercontinental title, or maybe you do something like a Jey Uso right there. Give Jey Uso a monumental match against Gunther. Then Randy Orton, you got him right there. What does he do? Maybe he goes up against a Finn Balor. Maybe he goes up against a Damian Priest. And we still got to think, on the other side of SmackDown, AJ Styles, LA Knight. Yeah, like it's interesting.
Well, and speaking of Gunther too, because I know a lot of people is like Gunther is primed to win the Royal Rumble. Gunther's primed to go after the title, and that can be done. It still could end up being the case. Who knows? But hear me out. A lot of the times WrestleMania is used for those feel-good moments, the babyface moments, the hero overcoming the villain. And Gunther is that villain. That's the thing. And Gunther main eventing WrestleMania, in theory, is a great idea because Gunther's fantastic. But the way I look at this is have Gunther's run go a little longer. Have it go into WrestleMania. Maybe that's where he finally loses the IC belt. I'm not sure. Gunther can go to SummerSlam and be the challenger for the title. Gunther could be the guy to win the belt off of somebody at SummerSlam. This is a very strong possibility. And again, SummerSlam, we're used to being left with, something a little bit more on the villain side kind of thing. WrestleMania is the payoff for the big hero win. Gunther isn't the big hero. He's definitely the anti-hero for some of us cynical. Yes. But I do believe that Gunther's time will come, and they keep building them the way they are. Go with that. Again, like I said, they're building a lot of major stars within the company right now.
Yeah, and it's really interesting. And expanded history, we'll get to that next question just in a second. It's funny because can he win the Royal Rumble? Yeah. Does he need it? Maybe he doesn't. I think it's just something we'd like to see. I still think Gunther with a Money in the Bank is dangerous. It's almost as dangerous as Brock Lesnar with Money in the Bank, if you really want my honest opinion.
As long as Gunther doesn't start boomboxing it, then we're good.
But, I mean, if they truly bring back King of the Ring in the way it should be, that's an ideal way for Gunther as well. Because I remember when King of the Ring was basically the Summers version of the Rumble, and that winner got a SummerSlam main event title match. That's how I remembered King of the Ring. But yeah, I don't know. Also, if Gunther gets to WrestleMania, he's easily eclipsed for the most amount of days as Intercontinental Champion on just one reign. And that has to be the most historic reign of a title that's not the WWE World or like any heavyweight championship. Like that's a crazy amount of time. And he's nearing, very much nearing the second year point of that time, or around then. Not yet, but nearing. But yeah, it's very clear because obviously we can sit here and say any champion, obviously they're not going to win the Rumble. They're not in it. Anybody that's in a match not involving a title, like Seth and Punk, they don't need a championship between them.
Oh.
So Do you pencil that in as a WrestleMania match, not for a championship? And now you just took away two guys that could play a role in the Rumble, but don't need to win it. So that's very interesting to me. So like, it just remains to be seen, like kind of what they do for the Rumble, but it makes the Rumble now that much more unpredictable.
I mean, you could also have Priest cash in if you were to make some sort of match.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you could even have your proposed intergender match at the Royal Rumble, only for Priest to cash in at the end of it, take the belt. And then the Rollins Punk thing can continue into a singles match at WrestleMania for all you know.
Yeah.
And then you've got the belt around Priest to put him in a position to go up against somebody at WrestleMania at that time. So there's a lot that can still be done. And I'm glad that, Expanded History got a great question in here for us as well. And then it's got another one here as well, too, we should bring up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, say great take. Appreciate the response. Could we see Punk play the role like Roman or Brock played, where they show up at the big pay-per-views and a few house shows once in a while? Put that one over to you on that take first.
Yeah, I don't know if he's gonna play the role like Roman or Brock. Somehow I think I weirdly think Roman when he ends up losing the title, I think he's going to take a good amount of time off, unless there's that obvious feud that he has to stay for. With Brock, I don't know if really Brock comes back anytime soon. Brock very well could be a Hall of Fame induction in 2024, for all we know. That would be a very interesting one, but I mean, does Punk play the similar role? I think he's going to be there more regularly than we probably think. Whether or not it's house shows as well, probably not. Unless it's
in Chicago.
Yeah, or like New York, unless it's some of those bigger markets, I would assume.
Yeah.
But
don't expect it in your small town anytime soon. But and I say he's probably going to be around more. Like you'd probably see whatever show he ends up on, Raw or SmackDown, probably likely to see him, especially in the build to these bigger shows, see him a little bit more frequently. But not going to be in terms of traveling all the time, doing the house circuits, anything like that. That's used for experimenting and trying different things. They're not going to put somebody in his position into something like that, only to potentially damage his body before a big payoff at a massive show or anything. So but I mean, I do strongly believe the Punk's around enough that you'll see him on either Monday or Friday nights.
Yeah, and that's why you have the depth you do. So you can have guys like Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, CM Punk, those kind of talents where you don't need them on all the shows, like all the house shows, because you have your underlying, like you have your Cody Rhodes, you have your Seth Rollins, you have your Santos Escobars, your Dragon Lees, your Judgment Days. You have those kinds of guys that can fill in the gap, and and that's why you have that roster size and that depth. Hopefully, it just doesn't convolute when you come to certain shows, to where you have a problem like you did 5 years ago, because they had that problem 5 years ago. Especially going into the pandemic, where they couldn't afford to keep all of them. Yeah. But it's something. I don't know. As long as creative is sharp enough to continuously find something for these talents to do all the time, I don't care who plays what role. I just want to see something captivating on my screen when I watch.
Yeah, agreed. Oh, and we got answer from Expanded History. Oh, sorry.
Buttons. Oh my god. We haven't done that in a while.
No, it hasn't. But thank you, gentlemen. Your channel, specifically this stream, popped up on my recommended. Keep the great work up. Hey, glad it not only popped up, but more so glad that you were able to stop by and enjoy the show. We do this every Sunday at 12:15 Eastern time. And if you're a professional wrestling fan, we have tons of great content throughout the entire week revolving around professional wrestling, also as well as other pop culture topics here at our local establishment. So, yeah, we do really appreciate your time that you took to ask questions, and we're always interactive. So come on by anytime. Love having you.
It's actually very interesting of timing that you said that, because if you want to know more about our channel, I mean, we have you covered in that as well, because we have a calendar to show you.
Weekly
so Bobby,
calendar. Yeah, baby.
If you want to take down that comment, we can play this calendar right now.
Comment down, hit that calendar.
You can find out our current history here at our local establishment.
You've got me hypnotized. Push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. Whoa. I can see, I can hear, going crazy for the light. It's got me hypnotized. You've got me hypnotized. Get you out of my hand again. Is it wrong? Is it right? It's like I've won my final war without a fight.
Yeah, a lot of great stuff coming up. Bobby saying you guys always do an amazing job. Thank you, Bobby. We really appreciate you too joining every single stream here at our local establishment and showing support. But yeah, lots of great stuff coming up as always, Parish. And again, in just a couple of weeks, 2 Sundays away, we've got a big show coming up because this is what, episode 67?
Yeah.
67. So that means that 2 more episodes away, two more weeks. And we got the Golden Busters coming at you on episode 69, dude.
Nice.
This show busted out.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. We have some nice little topics of awards that we're gonna hand out. We got the best Ole Pod Challenge award, because we like to give our best Ole Pod. We like to challenge people to the best the Pod Challenge. So it's fun. So what that is, we all know. You just got to yell Ole at the microphone, and if there's people in the house or whatnot, it's awkward and it's funny for us. That's
why I'm glad we got ours out when there was less viewers.
Yeah. And then we also have our biggest guest award. So who is our biggest guest in the history of Busting Out so far? So very interesting. Those are 2. There's a few more. But yeah, tune in 2 weeks, and if by chance you want to maybe send a video in and do anything to help us out, just let us know. And that's why we have that email at olepodcast@gmail.com. Yeah, just we're always looking for some help. So always check that out and let us know. But
let us know.
But yeah, we did that blind ranking thing. I think it's time for a little bit more fun. What do you think?
Like a draft or something. It's getting kind of drafty in here.
It is. So yeah, we're gonna probably maybe start doing some top 5 drafts more often, because let's be honest, they're fun, and people dig them on the TikToks and the YouTubes and the Instagram. So it's fun, and you guys can play along with us too. You can throw in your what you guys think as well, and that's always fun. We're always going to have fun checking that out. But it's this week we're gonna do championship title design drafts, and the reason is I keep scrolling along and seeing AI created title designs, and it's like, man, some of them are pretty good, some of them are insanely different. But what I like titles, and I like the designs. But what I also like is some of the history behind it. So we're gonna do that. And Bobby, you handed me the win for the cup draft by giving me number 1. Although nobody voted, but I'm just assuming Stanley Cup wins. But yeah, so yeah, you can go first if you like.
Okay. I will start with my personal favorite, and the one that I grew up with. That is going to be the winged eagle.
Okay. So we got Winged Eagle off the board.
Yeah.
And then obviously I'm going to go with one that it's not my favorite, but obviously it's an iconic one. It's the big gold. It's the NWA WCW title. Like you have to go there. I like gold. I love gold. It's kind of my thing. I'm wearing it right now. Yeah, pretty iconic. And still really weird that Shawn Michaels once held that title. Just saying. I still find it weird. In
Just
shit brown pants, by the way.
Yeah. Very true.
So yeah, I took big gold.
He took big
What's your
gold.
number 2?
Number 2, I'm gonna go with Sweet Charlotte, 10 pounds of gold, the
All right.
World Heavyweight Championship, one of the most iconic world titles in the history of the sport.
All right. Well, I can't let this one go. I'm doing that classic Intercontinental Championship. I'm gonna get one. What I'm gonna try to do, if I can, I'm gonna try to be variety here. So that's my play. Variety. So I might not get like 5 heavyweights. I might not do 5 mid card. I'm gonna try to see if I can get a good little list here.
Oh,
you don't have to, but that's what I'm gonna try to do.
Interesting. Well, I mean, you can go that direction if you want, because I'm going to, and I'm going to go with the original WWF tag team titles from between the 1980s and the 2000s. The one with the big globe in the middle, with the not the big globe in the middle, the globe in the middle that said "World" through them. So the ones that were very
one with the Heart
well
Foundation, Demolition.
There you go.
Money Incorporated. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Although it is very ironic, I have this one right here as well.
Yeah.
You know what? That exactly was going to be my next pick. So I'm going to make an audible. I have to. You know, I'm watching my Saints play right now. It's football time. It's Sunday. Yeah, gotta do that audible. I'm changing it up already. I'm a hypocrite to my own draft, people. I am the online version of CM Punk returning to WWE, but I'm taking not this current one, but when guys like Brock Lesnar, Kurt Angle, Shinsuke Nakamura, the New Japan Heavyweight Championship.
All right. I'm going to go with one that a lot of people might not be as familiar with here. This would be the one that was contested in World Class Championship Wrestling. And no, I'm not talking WCW. I'm talking WCCW, and that was the WCWA, or the World Class Wrestling Association World Heavyweight Championship. The one that you'll probably hear you might hear a lot more of once the Iron Claw movie hits theaters, because Devon Eric's very well known for the lineage of the WCWA.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, so what was that one called again?
The World Class Wrestling Association. That was World Class WCWA World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, that's what I wrote. I ain't writing a paragraph here, man.
I understand.
that was a mouthful.
Yeah. No.
What am I gonna go? I think. I think I'm gonna hit you where it hurts.
Go for it.
Taking that MLW championship.
You can go.
The one held by Alex Kane.
Yep. It's a beautiful title.
It is a really nice title.
But the one that MLW hit it out of the park on following that was the MLW Featherweight Division Championship, which will be my final pick of the draft.
I still like mine better.
That's fine. It's a beautiful title. I'm not saying it's not.
They do have beautiful championships. Yeah. And my last one, I'm gonna go with the TNA tag team titles, one that Beer Money had. I'm sorry, I love those. Those are probably my favorite TNA titles ever. Kind of really just looked the part. So I'm doing the old TNA, not Impact, but the
Some good
tag
straps.
title, yeah.
And can I give an
Depend-
honorable mention to the
Oh, sure.
clearly personal favorite on a personal level, and that's the Prairie Pro Wrestling Championship. Just saying.
Okay, well, no, I think that's cool. You take your favorite indie championship.
Okay, and then it's Prairie Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna take the CNWA provincial title. That's right there,
There
in
you
my
go.
house. Yeah.
Also
I
very
mean,
nice belt.
I think I had to. It's right there,
Yeah.
literally right there.
It's the honorable mention independent pick.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's the thing. Like, I think we both can be honest about this, and maybe people in the States may not have the same thing, but like, it's not always normal to have really nice independent titles. Some independent companies do have really nice championships. A lot of them, they don't. They're usually replicas or like generic ones that you buy off like some certain websites, and they just make up their own name for the title, or they slap a decal on it. Like Shortsley Sampson actually did with this one, ironically enough, because he forgot their championship, so he threw a decal on where that Canadian leaf was. It's really funny. Took a long time to clean off. I'm not gonna lie, just because I did not take it off right away.
Yeah.
Like, it was like a sticker, and they just
embedded itself over time.
a little bit. But yeah, I mean, and in a nice little clip form, I got it off, and we're good now.
Perfect.
Yep, I gave that to people because it is what it is.
It is what it is.
But yeah, whew, that was a fun draft. I like doing these drafts.
Drafts are good.
They're nice little interesting ones too. But yeah, Bobby, I just, given the weekend that was, I know that we're talking a lot of WWE related and War Games. Obviously, that was something. Clearly, that was the big ordeal coming out of yesterday and really this week. But any other news, whether it's MLW, whether it's TNA, anything that caught your eye this week in professional wrestling, and even say Bobby, but if there's something out there that caught your eye, here's your platform, here's your opportunity to do so.
Yeah, what can you say? I mean, they just keep building more and more towards this MLW one shot on December the 7th, the Thursday night card. Like, there's 6 announced matchups for that card on a Thursday night, as opposed to we only got the 4 with Fightland. With one shot, you're actually getting 6 on this card. Mm-hmm. 2 former champions, Kojima and Tom Lawler, in a singles match. You got, for the first time ever 2 featherweights division matchups. You got Yamashita coming over with her Princess Championship to defend against Elmi Exo. You got Janai Kai with her featherweights division championship against Maki Ito. You got Rocky Romero taking on Mascara Dorada. What it says, it's a winner takes all for the MLW middleweight championship and the NWA historic welterweight championship. And then Ricky Shane Page defending against Jimmy Lloyd for the national championship. So we got tons of championship matchups, all sorts of things building on the MLW side. They're on fire. And that's not even bringing up the fact, and you got Kane and Cardona, but you've still got Alexander Hammerstone, more to unfold with him. You've got other members of Bulma Fight Club. So many things that could still come around for MLW right now, because they did a smart thing recently and they have started to build towards something special, and they're a bit of a hot topic at the moment.
Yeah, and that goes back to, we can also give a plug to the next watch along for MLW right on Ring of Respect Radio coming up.
Yeah,
so
the 7th.
There you go. I mean, we always gotta do those shameless plugs. We kind of like them.
Not just your regular watch along this time. It's actually on Ring Respect Radio Day. I'm glad at least they're doing it on a Thursday and they didn't hey, by the way, Tuesday night, you motherfuckers.
And it's something too, the more we're doing those these watch alongs, the more I'm getting a little bit more into and just introduced to the product of MLW, and it's been really good. Like, that last show was top to bottom one of the better shows I've seen, just from a start start to finish basis when you book a show. Like, you had your amazing main event. We talk about that absolute shocker with Hammerstone, and just what is that now leading into? And it's honestly, people, it's a show you do not want to sleep on. I really do think that back when WWE and TNA were going at it, following the WCW days, and then all of a sudden you started seeing Ring of Honor kind of come up on the things. I really think that's what we're starting to see here with MLW, with a little bit more knowledge about what they are, because you're seeing bigger names. Like,
which is funny
maybe,
because they started
Yeah.
20 years ago. Like, I mean, they were there during the fallout of those kinds of days and stuff like that. Court Bauer started the company as kind of a return back to what he liked about ECW kind of thing,
Yeah.
and that he thought that WWE ruined for him. So it's kind of funny to think,
which is
about how,
ironic,
like,
'cause
now
Gabe
they're getting
Sapolsky-
that attention, but it wasn't there before.
well, which is like ironic because Gabe Sapolsky like started the Ring of Honor based on what his mentor Paul Heyman did, also with ECW. And it was crazy because I still remember the time when I'm watching Ring of Honor and they're still doing those gymnasium shows. And you're seeing CM Punk when nobody knew who he was just yet, and he was wrestling, Eddie Guerrero. And then Eddie Guerrero decides, oh, I can't beat your champion. I'm the Intercontinental Champion here. So they do a no contest, and then they do 5 more minutes, and he puts the Intercontinental title on the line at a local independent show. Like, it's just crazy, and but it also reminds you of some of that. So when you're now going and watching the MLW show, think about this. You started watching it a couple years ago, and you saw a guy by the name of MJF on screen. Look where he is now. You're seeing guys like Alexander Hammerstone. You're seeing guys like Ricky Shane Page. You're seeing Alex Kane, Jay Bougie. Give them 5 years, see where they are at, and I guarantee we're going to be talking completely different about what they are, and remembering, hey, remember when they were in MLW and we got a chance to do all these watch-alongs? Like, it's a good time to be a fan of these companies, because you just never know which one of these guys are going to be the next face of the pro wrestling scene.
That's right. Yeah, and that's always been the great thing, is that we get to see their, them breathe life into their careers and stuff like that by taking a step and learning the TV, learning the different cues, all that kind of stuff, to prepare them for moving on to, say, an AEW, WWE, or anything of the sort. So the opportunities are there, and it keeps building with MLW, and they're doing great. And I'm so glad that, I'm able to sit down with people and enjoy it and observe what's going on.
Yeah, and I'm very frustrated with the zone right now. I cannot find the Saints game, and it's annoying. Very annoying. If you see me click on there, that's what I was trying to do. But yeah, I don't know. We haven't really had too much more news coming out of the TNA front of what really to expect, or nothing that I know of. But I don't know. Does anybody have anything there? Because honestly, I was fully swarmed in the War Games and Survivor Series field that I honestly did not pay attention to much going around.
No, and I don't think that there's. I think that companies were probably well aware of how much of the media would be taken up by Survivor Series. That I think that was going to be the big topic of the week. If anything's going to happen, we're going to see more unfold from other companies this coming week. But still, WWE's they're gonna nip those headlines, because I'm sure you guys are going to find out more tomorrow night with the CM Punk situation, and I'm sure we will see a rise in people paying attention just out of curiosity to see what happens.
I guess the one thing I do want to kind of put out there in the ether is we have not heard much direction yet about Jade Cargill.
Nope.
Let's do an early prediction. What do we see coming from Jade Cargill? When do you think she debuts in ring? What brand do you think she'll be on? And who do you think her WrestleMania opponent's going to be?
Debuts in ring, Royal Rumble. show to be on will be dependent on who eliminates her, which will also be vice versa her WrestleMania opponent. I don't think Jade's going to be wrestling for a belt at WrestleMania.
Yeah. No,
I think Jade will get taken out by, or she will originally eliminate one of the big profile people like a Becky Lynch or a Charlotte, more likely Charlotte, and that will start something between the two of them, leading to a match at WrestleMania. I think that's where it goes. Charlotte's on SmackDown, if I'm not mistaken, technically, so SmackDown would be my prediction.
Yeah, I think just seeing kind of the minute amount of appearances we have seen from her, where she's met a couple people, one of them Charlotte. I'm curious because I think she's going to be a babyface. I think she's going to be cheered when she comes in. And I'm very curious if we have yet to see a major flip on one of the major names on the female side.
Yeah.
I have a feeling we could still see a heel turn from Bianca Belair. I'm going to go with you. Royal Rumble debut. I think that makes sense. But I think I agree. She's on SmackDown. I think SmackDown right now needs depth. But I'm going to go with Bianca Belair.
Okay.
And
Makes
I'd be
sense, dude.
very intrigued with what a heel Bianca Belair can do. Because I do think that would be the game. Because I have a feeling the SummerSlam match with Jade Cargill could be Charlotte Flair or maybe the Becky Lynch.
That's fair. I just think I just see the company trusted in Charlotte for a WrestleMania level match with somebody like that. Is why I kind of went that direction. Bianca would be great too. Whether or not, like, I mean, you say heel, but it's like Jade Cargill, the way she acts kind of comes across heelist, like she's got an arrogance kind of thing. So I don't know that Jade plays the baby face very well necessarily. I yet to be seen kind of thing, but it could be why they're playing it slow, figuring it out. So take your time and just we'll see what unfolds. It's right around the corner. It's not far. We're almost in December, people. That calendar you saw earlier, it's got a December 3rd show on there.
Yeah. So. 2 months away from the Royal Rumble. That's what, like 61 days. You know? Yeah. Less than 10 weeks away. People like that's crazy. But I don't know. I think it's gonna be a fun ride, especially not knowing where these rails are taking us. And I think that's the most exciting part. This might be the most unknown trip to on the road to WrestleMania we might have. And I think that's exciting. As I'm about to lose my voice, I think this is the perfect time to wrap up.
You're struggling a little bit there, but it is a good time to wrap up. But before you completely lose that voice, why don't we get your ticker up there first so you can start telling people where they can find you. I just got to find those tickers. There they are. There they are.
Well, as I said last night, you can find me at a nice little pub outside called Our Local Establishment with a man named Phil. If you want to follow me on the socials, you can find me on the ones that are scrolling there, whether it's the X at Chris Parrish, the Instagram or Threads at Chris.Parrish, the Twitch at the Chris Parrish, and I got Kick and I got YouTube, and it's just at Chris Parrish. It's pretty simple there. But if you want to see me visually, then guess what? You're in luck. Tomorrow, as I hopefully have my voice back, you will see me in full doing a Monday Night Raw watch along because apparently I need to do more watch alongs. So I'll be there tomorrow with OMD, Chris Best, and the Golden Standard, Carl Carafel, as we'll be reacting to Monday Night Raw, and this is going to be a Raw to react to. And then after that, Wednesdays with Ed Prize at about 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Come see as we do Extreme Rules, the next PLE for Wrestle Draft. And I am nipping on Ed's heels to regain that #1 spot. I had a solid week last week, as I will show him through a virtual form why Gunther is a more prominent and dominant Intercontinental Champion than The Miz, as he is on my team as well. And then we are back next week with the Go Home Show to the Golden Busters, episode 68, of Busting out 12:15 p.m. Eastern next Sunday.
That's right. Why don't you go ahead and have a look, see who we can rate out to. I know there's not a whole lot of people online, but I'm sure there's somebody that we can send some love over to. In the meantime and in between time, you'll find me down at the ticker below. That is where you can reach out to myself. You're also going to be able to watch me with my video bro, both my video bros, mind you. That's both Papa Smoke and Basser joining for Ring Respect Radio live this Thursday night as we talk all things Prairie Pro Wrestling heading in to this Saturday night's live Prairie Pro Wrestling, the final Prairie Pro Wrestling show of 2023 as we head into the new year here and start to unwind. Of course, as mentioned, you will also be able to catch me here next Sunday with my Brunchbuster brother, Chris Parrish. And you could also check out Prairie Pro Wrestling on YouTube to hear myself and Papa Smokes calling all the action. We thank you all for tuning in. And I think it's about time we say it, Parrish. In the meantime and in between time, you've been busted.
Yeah.